Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Bud, and welcome to Mental Game Mechanics. Today's topic is about how to make your day shift when it's a sucky day. How do you make your day better when things aren't going your way? I, for the last couple years, have, as I've studied productivity and high performance, I've put together a ritual that I do every night. I'm not always perfect. Sometimes I actually really suck at it and get out of the habit. But when I am in the habit, it's a game changer for me. And what that habit is, what that ritual is basically, I call it my daily mission. And it starts the evening before the next day. And basically what I'm doing is I sit down, and usually I lay in bed, usually where I'm doing it. It's the last thing I do before I go to sleep. And I just go through my agenda for the next day. And I just think through all the things that need to get done, all the things that have deadlines, all the things that have due dates, all the things that are strategic focuses, all the things that I need to do the next day that just need to be done. And then I pick 3 to 5, typically closer to 5 projects that I have to do. It depends on the length, right? If there's more intensive projects, I'll usually pick and choose which ones they are. And I'm just strategic about how I'm thinking about my next day, but it's all about doing it the night before. It gives me a chance to sleep on it, gives me a chance to wake up the next day, readdress it, make sure that it's exactly what I want it to be, and just kind of go from there. So as I've done this, like I said, it's sometimes I've really been bad at it, and sometimes I've been really good at it. I know for me, it's easy to just kind of end your day and you're either tired or you've had enough for the day and you're just ready to kind of move on and go to the next thing. And when you get into that habit, it's hard to keep the momentum of what you've built. And so as I've strived to focus on making sure that I get that habit in, you go into the next day and you're making a huge effort to, you're excited. For me, when I do this, I get excited about my day. I get excited about what's coming up. I get excited about the projects that I'm going to get to work on. I get excited about the vision of me moving forward. I mean, everything for me just moves better when I'm doing this habit, when I'm hitting my daily mission on a daily basis. And so I've been better than, well, anyway, so there was a couple times that I've done this, that as I've kind of, sorry about the sunglasses, it's a little bright out, but as I've tried to do this, right, I get into my next day, I get into the projects that I'm working on, and when I get to work, somebody else's fire becomes my problem, and I now have to deal with it at that moment. And so all the plans that I had that day just got put to pot, right? This guy needed this project and that guy needed help with this thing, and they're all things that are not even close to being on my to-do list, and all things that I did not want to frankly do. They're things that they didn't push the needle more forward for me. Some of them were fires and emergencies, and some of them were just the guy, it was his fire, not mine, right? His emergency. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey talks about 4 quadrants, and prioritizing those things in different quadrants. And anyway, you can look more about that and on how to prioritize those things, and that's a good topic, but not the point for today. Anyway, these projects come to me, and it's like, okay, that's not what I wanted to do today, and it can be so frustrating. And that's happened to me on like several different occasions. I get to the office and people are just doing whatever they want to do. They have their agenda, they've got what's important to them, and all this stuff, and they're counting on me to get it done. It's like, first of all, like, I don't want to be doing that. And I'm a nice guy, and so I unfortunately sometimes break my own plans to do those things. And it's I try to have an abundant mindset when it comes to that stuff. But at the same time, right, I have a plan. I have a strategic focus that I'm trying to hit every single day. I have a daily mission that I'm going for. And when that's happened to me in the past, there's been a few times that I've just gotten so frustrated that I had to break my plans for the day just to help do these other projects or do these other things that needed to be done. Not because of anything that I did wrong, but because, you know, somebody else wanted it done and somebody else wanted the priority to be done. And so anyway, it can be so frustrating. Even if like, there's been a couple of times where I've just sucked at the day, right? I have a plan and I have an agenda, but I'm just like, bleh, I'm just not feeling it. It's just a rough day. And you know, you sit down in the office or at the desk or whatever, you pull your computer up, you go, okay, here's my to-do list, here's my daily mission, and you look at it and you go, I don't want to do that. I'm going to do that tomorrow. And you push it off. Or, you know, there's all these different ways that the day can kind of go wrong. It's not just other people's projects. Sometimes it's my own personal mental blocks. And in those moments I can get really frustrated. We all can. And so one of those, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. No, it was like last summer. I think that it actually happened. This particular moment that I'm referring to. I got frustrated with my day. I was annoyed. I was getting frustrated. These projects weren't going well. Had an issue with something. I made a mistake here. I mean, there was all these different things that kind of happened, and the day just compounded. And it was one of those days that you're like, I just want to go back to bed, and or I just want to go home. I just want to wrap up. I'm done. Get me out of here, kind of a thing. And that happened, and so I was so frustrated. And I just decided, you know, I just got to take a minute and escape for just 1 minute, just to chill. And so my office is right in there, this second floor right through here. And I was in there, and I decided to just get out and escape. And here, this is where I ended up, was kind of in these woods right here by this overpass, and by this stream right here. So you can hear it a little bit, I'm sure. It's nice and peaceful. But I escaped for a minute just to come and walk. I left the office, I forgot everything that was going on, and just came out and just started walking. And walked down here, walked up there. I mean, I just escaped for a minute, just to breathe and just chill out, you know. I think I even put in some music. And just started hanging out, walking through this area. And as I walked, there was something that happened, and it was kind of really enlightening for me. And it was simply that my mind cleared up, and the frustrations that I was feeling went away, and I was able to focus getting back to the office, and I was actually able to handle all the stuff that I had going on. And what I learned from that is that when you're in a mode where your day is just awful, when your day just sucks, there's a couple things that you can control. And you know, Tony Robbins talks a lot about this, but you can either control what you're focusing on, or you can control your physiology, right? You can get up and move, or you can focus on something different. And sometimes it takes a combination of both to do that, which in my case, that's what it was, right? I left the office, went for a walk, and just tried to clear my head and focus on something different, and didn't worry about what was happening inside of the office. And so, that being said, in our environments that we're in, if we are unable to control kind of the circumstances around us, or we have circumstances that's forcing us to, you know, get frustrated, or, you know, or just not ideal circumstances for us, whatever those circumstances might be. If we're in a place where we, you know, maybe it's a toxic work environment or relationship, or You know, maybe it's a bad culture or something. You know, maybe there's something that's not right, something that's not serving you. And if you're in that environment, it's very easy to let that environment compound and worsen in your set of circumstances. For me, I had my daily mission. I had my plan. I was ready to go. I was getting after it in that day. And within several hours of the day, everything I had on that list got shot. And it didn't get shot, but other priorities came up, and it pushed everything off, and I didn't have time to get to what I wanted to get to. And that frustrated me. And this project didn't happen because of this. And there was all these things that just, it started with one thing, and then it was then another, and then another. And by the time that third or fourth thing happens, all of a sudden I'm frustrated and annoyed and wanting to just, you know, gosh dang it, come on, this is stupid. And so we all have those moments where we just want to swear, we just want to yell, we just want to freak out. And that is when we have to change our environment. That is when we have to take a look at where we are, what's going on, and switch up where we're at, right? That might be a 10-minute walk. That might be, you know, you put on some tunes and meditate for a minute. You just get away from wherever it is that you're at, wherever it is that the problem is happening, and focus, refocus, recenter, and get back to whatever it is that you got to do. And if you're in an environment that is permanently, I mean, every single day, if every day is like that for you, you either, number one, have to figure out how to get out of there, or number two, how to adapt to that situation to then be able to handle all the crap that might be happening that's causing you to stress, causing you frustration, causing you to, you know, get upset, all those different emotions. And because if you don't handle those emotions, if you don't handle those things, it's going to be toxic for not just you, but the people you're around. Because believe it or not, your environment will infect your energy, and your energy will affect the people around you if you are not careful. And so my point here today is that if you're in an environment where you need to take a break, you need to escape for a minute, you need to refocus on something different. If you're in that kind of environment, I would encourage you to just do it, to just take a minute, escape for a minute, refocus, recenter, and then get back to it. And that's, you know, for me, that's the power of the daily mission, is every single day, walking into the day, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing. I know exactly what I want to get done. And even if something comes up that, you know, might push some of my deadlines, I still have my to-do list. I still have my daily mission that keeps me on track. And yeah, I might not get to everything, but I will work really hard to make sure that I do. And, you know, when I take a step away for a minute and then come back to my desk and sit down, I can look at that and go, boom, here's what I gotta do, here's what I gotta do, here's what I gotta do. And I simply, in the words of Jocko Willink, prioritize and execute. Prioritize and execute. Okay, figure out what the next thing that needs to happen is and execute it and get it done. So, you know, not only is this going to change your productivity, if you can, you know, refocus when things are going tough, when things are going hard, when you're not feeling up to it, when you're, you know, having a rough day, whatever it is, you know, not only is your productivity going to shift by implementing this, but you're going to have a better energy about you in your relationships, in the people you're working with, in your with your relationships with your clients. You're going to walk into a meeting, you know, feeling confident and strong and encouraging, rather than walking in and you're drudged. Oh man, just been late to all my meetings today. Oh man, and you kind of unload on the client when they don't care about your day. They want you to get them a result. It doesn't matter what that is, right? So I'll wrap up with that, and I just hope that you take this and actually try it. When your day sucks, change your environment, change your focus, change whatever you need to change, and get back to it. Okay? Escape for a minute, refocus, recenter, and then get back to it. And you'll find greater productivity. You're going to be able to move things faster, and you're going to make progress with whatever it is that you're working on. So that is the mental shift for today. And I hope that you make that mental shift, not just, listen to what I'm saying, but go and do it. Okay, prioritize this in your life and execute it. I know that if you do that, you will see results. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but in a week from now, or a month from now, or a year from now, when you're having a really crappy day, I hope you remember this video, because you're gonna remember to just clear up, exit, escape the environment that's causing you the distress, refocus, recenter, and then get back to it. So I'll leave you with that and hope you have an incredible day. I'll talk to you on the next one.